thing that I'm very conscious of is that the development committee don't sort of sit on high and criticise individual race organisers. We don't criticise individual events. These things have happened. They've just, over time, have gone on these dates, and a lot of times, like with the Great South Run, it got cancelled because there was a mudslide, you know, and it's things like, there are some things that have to be where they are. For example, the London Marathon, that's not anything to do with us. The Isle of Man Marathon, the Parish Walk, the 20-mile race is fundamentally, it's a prelude to or a good training to the London Marathon, so it makes sense to be where it is. So there are some things that don't need moving, but what we've done is we've had a look at the fixtures list. We've kept the immovables where they are, and we've wiped everything else, wiped the slate clean, and we've gone back and we said, right, fell runs, let's put them in. Road runs, put those in. Cross country, put those in. And we've gone through and done the best job we can. Now, before we turn over, why did we do it? It's fairly straightforward. We want increased performance from the athletes that are taking part in these races. We want increased numbers in each event. And if we remove all the congestion, we're going to get more marshals available because they're not going to be turning out 3 times a week. So, increased performance, how are we going to achieve it? By removing the congestion and spacing the races out so they make sense. We're going to have people are not going to be over competing. We're going to remove the temptation to race 3 times a week or 4 times a fortnight. More efficient training, greater ability to target specific races. Therefore, if your race that you want to peak for is, personally, I'd aim for something like the Isle of Man Marathon would be my big race of the season. So I'd want to race up to that. Well, by spreading the races out and making the ones that I'm interested in doing sensible distances apart, I can then do more racing leading up to the target race. We've also standardised distances, or we've suggested standardised distances. In 2 of the series that are currently running, we're trying to get one of them. It's Dave Phillips and the Ramsey Park runs. There's a long course and a short course. So with the Dave Phillips, if possible, if we could do a 10k as the long course and then a short course, and then with the park runs, do the 5k as the short course and then a long course. It might be that that gets jiggled around, but if we can get some standardised distances, we're going to get more people. We're going to get more people, we're going to get better performance. Because if you're running a 10k, you've got a benchmark. You look in all the training books, this is how we're going to, I know where how I'm getting on because I'm running sub whatever for a 10k. At the moment, the Dave Phillips, great race, 4.85 miles. Does it mean anything? I'm running sub 30 for 4.85 miles. It's not as easy to translate. And increased numbers. We're not only looking at getting more people being able to race because we've removed the congestion, we're looking at bringing in people who, there's loads of people out there, you see them when you're driving, people that are running and walking and you don't see them at the races. You read the Runner's World, build yourself up to 10k, how to run a 5k in 3 weeks. Well, if we've got some, they can do that, so hopefully we're going to get some more non-competitive runs. So what we're looking at is we're just improving athletics on the Isle of Man. And we're doing, with the track and field, we're looking at bringing in 3 open meets. We're not changing the meets that are there already, but we're looking at bringing in 3 open meets, not inter-club, just open meets, so people can compete against different people, better competition. So we're looking at increasing the athletic performance on the Isle of Man. So if I explain to you where the major changes are, bearing in mind that we as a committee are not enforcing, we have no power to enforce change. This is just a suggestion, okay? What we want is feedback from you guys tonight. You guys take it back to further into the committee, into the club, into the people that you see that are involved with athletics, and get some feedback, because at the end of the day, if there are better systems than this, we want to hear about it, because this is the best one we can come up with. So the biggest changes we've got With the road runs, we have changed, or Dave Phillips' run to 10k, park runs to 5k. Still retain a long and a short element to it, but that's what we're, ideally, if we can do that. Now, there's 5 Dave Phillips runs and 5 park runs, so each of those series has lost a run. But, in terms of numbers, I firmly believe that over the course of the season, the number of extra runners that the new format and the new scheduling will enable to run will outweigh the 1 run that is lost. So there's 1 run lost from Dave Phillips, 1 run lost from Ramsey Park runs. But new format means more numbers. There's a walk, 1 walk has gone. Now the walks are in yellow, and you can see there's stacks of walks there. Do we need an extra walk? We've looked at it and thought, well, that looks like a fairly spread out. There's plenty of walks there. Who's going to do every one and want to do another one? Don't know, but we dropped a walk. We dropped a hill race. Fell runs, still the same number of fell runs. We've dropped a hill race to avoid congestion in the latter end of the year. And with the track and field, it's the 3 open events that we put on a Tuesday, so it doesn't clash with any other club night. And we've got 1 in May, 1 in June. There's the ordinary, the track and field champs, the Isle of Man track and field champs in July, and then there's another open event in August. So we've got 3 open events. Okay, that's 3 extra events, and we're trying to thin it out. But if you look at where everything's placed, you'll see that it doesn't clash with, certainly doesn't clash with anything too drastically. Obviously, we're not going to wipe out clashes. We're not going to have it perfectly, and I'm sure that there's going to be people that are going to pick up on one thing being close to another thing. But what we've done is we've got this done, and what we'll do is we'll get that printed out and then forward it around.
Email it.
Yeah, emailed and to the various clubs and committees and race organisers, and you can all. And then if there is any problems, any last minute things, you know, contact us or contact Trev, and he can feed it through to the development committee, and